So now we're going to talk about one company in the US and one in China, and we talk about where they're listed. Tyson Foods is the largest US protein producer, market leader in chicken, beef and pork, and a smorgasbord of prepared foods, right? So by that I mean in the US you find all sorts of chicken stuff made from the breast meat exclusively, but of course they manufacture turkeys, hot dogs, all sorts of things as well. Market cap $22.87 billion. Okay, that's not exactly first division.
Yeah.
I mean, there are companies that have a $700 million market cap, so 22 is not particularly enormous, but, you know, sizable operator nonetheless. Price earnings ratio 13.03, dividend yield of 1.43%, listed on the New York Stock Exchange, nice and liquid, you know, actively traded. Let's go to the share chart first. So that's a 5-year chart revealing that it's done quite well, but hasn't really done all that well in the last year or so.
So, look, leader in the US, particularly in all those, in pork, in chicken, in beef, got about a 20% market share, which for the size of the market is significant.
Yeah.
And they are a big player, 115,000 employees. They operate in 130 countries, although the US is their dominant revenue driver. And, you know, although a $22 billion company, to give you an idea of the scope of this, they produce 35 million chickens a week. So you're talking about a massive operation. And then there's still the processing and the packaging.
Country, multiple
Absolutely.
chicken batteries, you know, the standard thing that you can visualize.
Correct. So, you know, there's significant volume coming through here. Not a particularly high margin business. You know, you're talking kind of high single-digit percentage margin, so it really is about that volume.
And I guess that's what it is, really. This is a very well-developed market, so there's lots of competition, both from big operators as well as kind of craft manufacturers trying to pitch themselves with the quality spectrum. So it's not going to be easy. This is not the kind of economy in which you make super profits on anything.
Correct.
It's razor thin across the board. One of the other reasons I noticed that the share price had moderated a bit was that there's apparently some kind of antitrust investigation going on, because there were collusion concerns between Tyson, Sanderson Farms and Pilgrim's Pride, which are the 3 big chicken manufacturers. Allegations that they had in fact set prices. But the firms responded by saying this was absolute nonsense, that they might have had some casual conversations at trade fairs or something. But there's no way in an industry like that that they could possibly have collaborated. But that did create a little bit of a negativity for the stock.
Correct. I think the weakness also partially the big acquisition that they're just busy bedding down with Advanced Peer, about a $4 billion acquisition. So they've swallowed that up. They expect $200 million of saving annually coming in the future. So, you know, these big groups also have the benefit of, you know, being cash flush, and they are very acquisitive.
Well, speaking of that, just 2 other points. The one is to note that the Tyson family, this business was started by a guy called John Tyson in 1935. The Tyson family still controls the business and has 80% of the voting shares. That can be a plus, sometimes a bit of a minus. The other thing is that the bigger reason, according to my notes, for the share price looking like that was that in the recent quarterly earnings were a little bit soft and the CEO got fired. So I don't know. I mean, I suppose in a case like that, that probably explains a little bit of the wobbliness at the tail end there. Okay, hot or not? That's the usual issue for us.
Look, fairly thin margin. I like the dividends and the share buybacks. They've been very prolific in that. But yeah, there's a few question marks at the moment. The big acquisition, the antitrust, the change of guard of leadership. I'm going to wait on this one. Not hot for me.